All right, welcome everybody. I came across a really interesting video that I think that would help you if you've not really just come to terms with the fact that your children are being targeted, that your children are being literally sought out to corrupt their thinking. I hope you will wake up to that reality because it's as clear as the nose on your face. This is a small excerpt from a video from Michael Knowles, conservative spokesman, about Helena Kirchner, a young woman who was brainwashed into transitioning to a boy. She may bring out many things to you that you've not really just sat out before you and seen as reality. The reason they need Planned Parenthood, not just to murder babies, not just, in that capacity, but they need them for this other venue of mutilating young, growing women, their bodies, their minds, with surgery that's irreversible, with medications that have just awful, terrible consequences. These puberty blockers, the same drugs, like I think it's Lupron, that we use to chemically castrate sex offenders that they use on these children. But her story is one of hope. It's one that can help you learn how are they getting to your children who are in your home, behind locked doors, under your care. How are they still getting to your children? Social media being the number one avenue. I call this the Disney generation because it's also like the Toys R Us generations. I don't want to grow up. If you're old enough to remember that slogan from Toys R Us. In Disney, if you only imagine it, then it can come to be. These people are being locked and boxed inside a digital reality that is completely separate from the reality of biology and chemistry and real everyday experiences, and it is shaping their mind to think a certain way. It is by design. I'm going to play this a little bit of a clip. We'll speak for a moment. I'm going to link this interview in the description box because please take time just to watch it. Share it with your friends. Share it with those that are the it's no big deal crowd about not watching your children and what they watch and what is coming into their mind. Remember, garbage in, garbage out. That's the way thinking works. That's the way your worldview is shaped. So listen to some of the things in this very short excerpt of what she is saying, and praise God she was rescued, that she has been delivered out of this track that she was on and can now get back to a normal life with the biology God gave her. And just be open to see this. Humanity is not waiting on a war. Humanity is fighting a war on many fronts. First and foremost, on a psychological level. So let's play this.
As they're imagining what their future is going to look like, and just not really having any pushback against that from any of your peers. And so that just very easily, I feel, spirals out of control. And there's also this element of, when you are using social media and you're constantly scrolling it all day, you're just getting message after picture after idea kind of seeping into your mind. And when you don't have those good, stable relationships outside of the internet, it's really easy for that to all go unquestioned. So you can begin to form beliefs that don't stand up to scrutiny and would easily kind of fall apart if you were to verbalize them to someone who is actually critical of those ideas, but engaging you in a compassionate way, you're able to just carry those ideas with you and make decisions based off of them. When in reality, the ideas themselves, like, they don't make sense. They're not founded in reality. So for me, it was a lot of stuff just based on fantasy, based on literally just pictures that I was seeing all the time of cute boys, and then these messages that were saying, you know, your life is going to be so much better if you transition. You are trans. The reason you don't fit in with other girls is because you're trans. So it's really this stew, this big complicated stew of unreality that young people fall into when they're just scrolling all day on social media.
This did you catch some of the things that she really just kept repeatedly touching on? Social media, the fact that these children are being put in a position where they don't have real in-person contact in regard to relationships, and someone saying to them that that's not true. You're a girl or you're a boy. You know, somebody that will challenge their imagination, because that's ultimately what it is. They're living in a fantasy world, and it's very refreshing, as equally refreshing as it is heartbreaking that she went through this, and that so many children right now are being targeted by the corrupt, twisted, perverted agenda to try and tell someone that they're not who God made them, when they are, when they're constantly brainwashed by movies, social media, isolated groups within those platforms, tell them you're not happy because you're actually trans. You need to be a boy, or you need to be a girl, or whatever. And you go to mutilating your body and taking hormones. She speaks of how easily it was when she went to Planned Parenthood, that it's like they just immediately identify with her new imagination, or imaginative view of who she was as wanting to be a boy. It's like, here's your injection, sir. Here, let's get this party started. And we need to protect our children. We have done a poor job. We have given them video games to program their minds into everything from drone warfare to the perverted things on the back mask as the video game plays along, where the violence just repetitively shoved down their throat, or the perversion on social media, movies, and whatever. That's on us. We can blame the world. We can blame Satan. We can blame Planned Parenthood. We can blame the perverts of the world. But if we knowingly allow our children free, unsupervised access to these things, and if we're not purposely keeping them rooted and settled in reality, that's not Satan's fault. That's not Planned Parenthood's fault. That's our fault for handing that which is holy, that which is special and unique to us, our very children, over to dogs, over to the world, over to Satan himself. But I'll put the link in the description box. Please take time to watch this. Take notes. What is the points that she makes? Those that are caught up in the trans ideology are also those who are caught up in kind of this imaginative, view of reality with no firm footing in what is real. And take notes of that, how important it is for you to focus your children to the reality with so much free access to everything that you want at the click of a button. You can become a dog through a filter. You can look like a pizza. It doesn't matter. Ground our children in reality, because I'll tell you what, Satan is using these platforms far more efficiently than Christians are. Let's be honest. He's willing to put in the work. His followers are willing to put in the work and the sweat and the sacrifice to reach their goal. And by and large, believers aren't. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention and give you something to think about, because there is a war right now for the souls and the future of every single child on this planet.